Well, hello everyone, welcome back to Miles Motorhome Adventures. I'm just doing a vlog today on the the modifications I've made to the diesel heater and the electrics, well, some of the electrics in the van. So I'll just show you around what I'm doing at the moment. So if you just go down to the diesel heater, which is under the seat here. So what was happening was the diesel heater was trying to fire up, and when it went to sort of ramp itself up and get some heat, it was cutting out, and we couldn't work out why. And we found out that, if I can bring you in a bit closer, the earth cable here, somebody had fitted it onto the earth on the water heater, but it was working when we first got the van, because obviously somebody else fitted the diesel heater that we bought the van off. Now we worked out that it was, well, we guessed that it was a problem with the earth cable. So what I've done, I've extended the earth cable and gone through the corner of the van, well, the corner of the seat down there where there's an air outlet, where the cables, where the main cables go through, and I've traced it underneath the van, and I've taken it right to the battery, so I know that it's going to get a good earth. So there's the negative side of one of the batteries, and I've just connected it there directly to the battery, and now the diesel heater seems to be working absolutely fine. Had it on this morning, no smoke, maximum power, and everything seems good. Now, also with the diesel heater, the fuel line was the green soft fuel line, which I'm sure you've all seen videos about. So later on today, I'm actually going to be replacing all that fuel line with the hard plastic fuel line, and a new fuel filter and connectors that came with the kit. Now I've got 5 meters of fuel line and all the connectors, the proper metal sort of, they're not Jubilee clips, but they're specially for the pipe, and the black rubber connectors for £3.99 off eBay. So that was a pretty good buy. I'll just show you that now. So yeah, I mean, you've got the filter, the connectors, the clamps. The fuel line's actually outside, underneath the van, but I'll take you underneath there after. Another thing I wanted to show you was, originally the 2 batteries were here and here, and it took up a lot of space underneath the seat. This van doesn't have an outside garage area, so every bit of space we can save inside the van for storage is a bonus. So what I actually did is, here there used to be an inverter. Now I took the inverter out, one, because it was never used, and two, because we've now got the power bank, which is quite a powerful power bank. It's the All Powers. We didn't need the inverter, so I've taken the inverter out, and that's freed up space to put the batteries, which are linked here, so it's freed up all that space underneath underneath the seat, which is a real bonus. So anyway, for who's interested, I'll take you underneath the van now and show you me taking the old fuel line out and refitting the new fuel line. Also, what I've done is I've changed the original tank which came with the diesel heater, which we had in the gas locker. I've taken that, I'm going to be taking that out because we couldn't get 2 gas bottles in there and the tank, and I've actually moved the tank into another locker, which you can see the outside of it there, which used to hold the old leisure battery, and I've put a fuel can in there with a what would you call it, a fuel feed pipe, a metal fuel feed pipe, into that locker, so it's freed up all that space in the gas locker. It only holds a gallon of diesel, but for the amount of times we're away in the van, I think that's going to be adequate. I mean, a gallon of diesel is going to last us all weekend, basically. So anyway, I'll take you outside now, underneath the van, and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so here we are outside the van, and I'll just show you where the the diesel tank is going to be removed from. So, gas locker. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the full gas bottle there, and that's where the other gas bottle will go, but we've got this tank in the way. So what I want to do is do away with that tank, and just get my keys, and we've got this locker here which got the electric in, and I want to connect this tank up for the diesel heater. So you can see I've fitted a down pipe there, a pickup pipe down to almost the bottom, so drilling it through, because it's got a lock nut on the back of it, I can actually, that stays in place, and I can actually undo the cap. I can't really do it one-handed when I'm at the fuel station, and I can take the lid off, fill this up with diesel, and there's a hole there conveniently, so I can push the fuel pipe through there and connect it to the tank, and that can be left on, and then I can just remove the lid, fill the thing up with diesel, pushing back. There's actually a strap down there for the old leisure battery, because this is where the leisure battery went, and that'll keep the fuel tank in place. So now it's under the van, and remove the old fuel pipe and put the new fuel pipe in. Okay, that's just under the van. Just showing you the old fuel system before I take it out. It's pretty straightforward. Just take the pipe out, disconnect it from the pump and the fuel filter, and see if I can get covered in diesel, which I probably will. So there we go. So that's the underneath of the van with the pipes coming through for the diesel heater, the old green pipe, fuel pump, runs all the way back and then up into that gas locker, and then I'm doing away with all that obviously, and then running it across to the other side of more to the front of the van, into the locker where the old leisure battery used to sit. So I'll get back to you when I've taken it out. Well, hello again everyone. Well, I've done the pipes. I've put the new pipes in and the new fuel filter. That's the word, fuel filter. And the new tank's in. I'll just take you outside and give you a quick look at the van. Right, just need to get underneath. Okay, so right from the diesel heater underneath the van there, new pipe to the fuel pump with the connectors, which runs through the chassis, along there, along the van to the locker at the front. I'll just get out and show you the locker at the front with the new tank in it. Now I'll crawl out from underneath this van. Ugh. It's a rather sunny day today in northern Aberdeenshire. It's supposed to be raining, they said, but it's actually 8 degrees. So, and the sun's out. So, take you round. Have I got my keys on me? Yes, I have. Oh, that's the gas locker where the tank used to be. So as you can see now, I've got both gas bottles in there, all this free space, which is great, which I can probably fill with more crap, to be honest. And the locker at the front is now used for, if I can find the key, the tank. So I can pull the tank forward, take the cap off. This actually spins, so I can take the cap off and keep this connector straight, which is great. And then I can just fill it up at the garage or whatever. And then I've just left enough pipe there. The fuel filter is just down there, and the pipe goes down under the van. So it's ideal, really. And then there's a strap there. I haven't strapped it down because I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm just testing the system out, which is great. So also I'm not running it on diesel. I'm actually running it on kerosene. If you can see by the chicken coop, our oil tank, our house actually runs on kerosene heating oil. So I've nicked a bit of that and I'm using it to run the diesel heater. And as you can probably hear, the diesel heater's working fine. So if we go back into the van, we'll just hear it running. The van's in a bit of a mess because I've been working in here obviously, but yeah, blowing out lovely hot air on kerosene, not diesel, and it's a much cheaper option than diesel, especially at the moment. I've just been to Asda to get some diesel in the car, and it was 157.9 I think it was, and because we buy the heating or the kerosene in bulk, 500 litres, it's a fraction of that anyway. So I mean, with what I've got in the tank to the house and what I've just taken out for the diesel heater, it's free to run basically. So that's what I wanted to show you anyway, and I'll see you all again soon. Okay, just another quickie. I've just recommissioned, it's a Carver Cascade 2 boiler in this van, and I've had it drained down over the winter, and I've just recommissioned it. So basically all I did before the winter is take the drain plug out. I took the drain plug out, right out, so there was no room for error. I opened all the taps, drained all the water out the taps, and obviously turn the pump off for the taps once they were drained. And then I got my mouth around the taps while they were open. Just leave them open in the winter, don't shut the taps, leave all the taps open, and I blew down each tap so that I was absolutely sure that all the water was out of the system. So Carver Cascade 2 was drained with the plug. Take the plug straight out, leave all your taps open. I blew through the taps, but if you don't want to do that, then just opening the taps and draining all the water out of them should be okay. I also drained, there's the water filler with the tank below. I also left the drain plug for the fresh water open as well, so if there was any water at all left in, any expansion with ice, then the water had got somewhere to go instead of sitting and breaking the pipes as it would do on your taps if you left them closed and there was any water at all in them. Also remember things like drain your flush for the toilet, because that's water as well. Don't leave that in the van over winter. And empty your toilet, and either put your cassette in empty or just leave your cassette out and put somewhere where it's not going to freeze up. And also, if we come round the back of the van, this is our drain for the wastewater, sink, etc. Leave that open as well during the winter, and then if there's anything left in the pipes or the tanks at all and it starts to freeze, at least it's got somewhere to go if the tap's open. If you leave the tap shut and the water's got nowhere to go as it freezes, it's just going to burst your pipes, and that is anywhere around the van. Obvious stuff, I know, but essential. So anyway, I recommissioned the boiler, put the bung back in, filled the thing back up with water, opened the taps and the hot tap side to fill the boiler up, and fired it up, and everything's working fine. It's working fine on the 240 volt on the water heater and the gas. So that's as good for another winter. If you don't do this, and your boiler will crack, and it will cost you a lot of money. So just remember, in the winter, drain your water out. Okay? Bye.